Are you tired of the same old boring game modes in your favorite MMO? Then look no further than GW2's World vs. World. Hey guys, Derek26 here. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know to get started in GW2's World vs. World game mode, so that you could hop right into the action and get started. If you like this video and like to see more GW2 content, please drop a like and subscribe, as I'm trying to reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers. Okay, let's get right into the video. So what is World vs. World? World vs. World is one of the core pillars of the Guild Wars 2 endgame content. It is a distinctive game mode that combines elements of both PvP and PvE, and features massive open world battles between different servers. It is a unique and exciting aspect of the game that offers players a chance to participate in large-scale PvP battles, as well as objectives that reward them for working together. The World vs. World game mode is also extremely rewarding. You get tons of loot in World vs. World, including earning a full set of Ascended armor. Not good enough? How about a full set of legendary armor, a legendary ring, a legendary back piece, as well as random dropped Ascended weapons and armor boxes, and tons of crafting materials, as well as 2 different reward tracks. Need more? The World vs. World game mode is also the only place you can earn the Gift of Battle, a piece needed to craft legendary weapons. So now that you're interested, let's get into the basics. You can try World vs. World starting at level 60 for free-to-play accounts, or level 31 if you have a paid account. The game will scale you up to level 80, but your equipment will be subpar, and you may be missing key abilities, as well as you won't have access to any of your class's elite specs. It is for these reasons I really recommend waiting until level 80 to get started. So to log in, press the letter B on your keyboard, or click this castle icon on your UI, and it'll bring up the World vs. World interface. So let's go quickly over the information on it. On the first tab up top, it shows the current skirmish and the current score. These are the 3 servers that are currently in this matchup. This house icon shows you that this is your server in case you didn't know, and this sign shows the server that is currently in line with yours. These are the current scores for the skirmish, which is basically determined by who is controlling the most objectives on the map. And to just go into a little bit further, the color of your team is determined by the results of the previous matchup, with green being the team that fared the best, the blue the next, and lastly, red. And down here are the list of maps where the battles are taking place. You can click on these and it will waypoint you to your base on that map. And you have one map for each server, as well as the Eternal Battlegrounds, which is more of a neutral map. For simplicity, you don't need to worry about these other 2. The Obsidian Sanctum holds a big jumping puzzle. The Edge of the Mist was made for players to play while waiting in queue for other maps. It's basically not used anymore. Okay, so down to the match overview tab. This tab is broken down into 2 sections. The first section is just a more in-depth breakdown of the current skirmish scores. The pie chart is showing the proportion of objectives controlled by each server, and these icons are showing the actual numbers of each camp, tower, and keep taken. And you can click through these and see how each map is faring in this regard. Then down here at the bottom, you have probably the most important part of this tab for you, which is the skirmish reward track. While being active in World vs. World, you'll be earning pips that fill up this track per each tick of time. It takes 5 minutes for each tick, and you can earn a certain number of pips that depend on several factors, but it's generally in the single digits like 5 to 8 while you're new. This chart goes into depth of the criteria for earning pips, and I'll link it in the description in case you want to look through it. Once the track is full, you earn the chest. Each chest is filled with a bunch of awesome rewards, including World vs. World claim tickets, which are basically the bottleneck currency that you need for the World vs. World legendary pieces. Also, the more time within each matchup that you fill the track, you get progressively better and better chests. I'll link this in the description also, so you can check out all the goodies inside of each tier of chest. Alright, down to the next tab, which is the World vs. World reward track. Another awesome reward track. In this one, you get to pick which of these wonderful reward tracks you want to work on, and the track fills up as you participate in World vs. World. Some of these rewards that you can work on include cool cosmetic weapon and armor skins, rare crafting materials like mystic clovers, and tracks that get you started on your legendary armor sets. The first track you'll want to complete is the Warclore mount track, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a minute. Lastly, we have the rank and abilities tab. While in World vs. World maps, you don't earn experience as normal, and instead you'll earn what is called World Experience. Each time you fill up the bar of world experience, you gain a rank and an ability point. You also gain a title at certain ranks, and that title is shown to players that you are fighting on the map. The ability points earned can be spent on any of these following areas. This adds just another fun layer of progression to your account. To help you get started, these are the most widely recommended abilities to take first. Number 1 is to spend 1 point in the Warclaw Mastery track. This will unlock the Warclaw reward track that I mentioned earlier. Then make sure to go back and make this your active reward. To unlock the Warclaw, you need to finish this track as well as collect several other pieces. Follow the Warclaw companion achievement. It's pretty self-explanatory, but maybe I'll make a quick video down the road to make it easier. Next, use 3 points in War Gliding Mastery to unlock the ability to use your glider in the Worldly World maps. Quick note, you could only use your glider in areas of the map that your team currently controls. Otherwise, you're going to come crashing down. Lastly, save up and put 20 points into the Provision Master, getting it to rank 4. This will enable you to loot all the drop goodies from the enemies without having to click on each one. You'll also have to enable it in these settings. It's under Auto Loot, Quick Interact. There's a lot of other great abilities to choose after this, but these 3 should give you a good strong start. As a side note, there might be one other tab like this that you've seen on my screen. This is just for the current Worldly World restructuring. ArenaNet has been working for a long time on changing the skirmish model from being based on servers to being based on guilds, which would be fitting given the name of the game is Guild Wars. If you have this tab, you can just set which of your guilds you would like to be paired with for the Alliance betas. Alright, let's briefly go over some of the currencies that you'll be collecting while in the Worldly World maps, and what are some of the things that you can spend them on. There are 3 main currencies you gain in Worldly World. These are Badges of Honor, Testimony of Heroics, and the Worldly World Skirmish Claim Tickets. Badges of Honor drop randomly from players and certain NPCs in the map, such as Tower and Keep Lords, and Veteran Supervisors that are in the camps. You can use them to purchase various equipment and consumables, including Cultural Armor, Ascended Trinkets, Worldly World Infusions, and Siege Blueprints. Testimony of Heroics are pretty cool. They're earned from ranking up or can be selected in skirmish chests that you get from the skirmish reward track. You can spend them at any Notary of Heroics in World vs. World maps to obtain hero points. This is a great way to unlock elite specs for alternate characters that you might have without having to do all the running around. And lastly, the coveted Worldly World Skirmish Claim Tickets. These are earned from the weekly skirmish reward track chests and are really the limited rate factor of earning the Worldly World Legendary Armor, as well as some other choice items. So I wanted to quickly mention that ArenaNet is currently making improvements to World vs. World. I had said that they are currently working on alliances, enabling players to play with each other from the same guild as opposed to having to be on the same server. But they have also recently increased the rewards for participating in World vs. World. You can already complete your daily quests in the World vs. World maps, but now also have weekly achievements you can complete that net you 8 gold and additional World vs. World skirmish claim tickets. And even further, they added bonus chests which you can receive for capturing or defending objectives. That's a lot of loot. Maps. Okay, now let's look at the maps and some of the different objectives on them. The 3 main objectives in World vs. World are Resources Camps, Towers, and Keeps. Resource Camps, or also called Supply Camps, generate supply and deliver it to nearby towers and keeps. Each battleground has 6 camps. To successfully capture camp, you need to defeat the small groups of guards, including the Veteran Supervisor. Then just wait in the colored circle until it changes to your team's color. Towers are more fortified than camps and have a set of walls and a heavy gate protecting them, as well as more guards. You'll need to break through the gate or walls with siege equipment, then defeat the champion Tower Lord to take control of the tower. Keeps are massive structures that require a more sustained effort to capture. They have many guards and tough defenses. They usually require several siege weapons and large groups of allies to capture. Each map contains 3 keeps, and you'll need to break down the defenses and defeat the champion lord to capture it. The Eternal Battlegrounds map also has the massive Stone Mist Castle. It is the largest objective in World vs. World and is heavily fortified. It is worth the most points for holding, and as such it is usually pretty well defended by players and much more difficult to take than regular keeps. Supply and Siege. Alright, let's quickly talk about Supply and Siege. Supply is a special resource in World vs. World that is used for constructing siege weapons, repairing gates and walls, and using traps and tricks. Supply does not show up in inventory, but you can see how much supply you're currently holding right here on the World vs. World interface. You gather supply from any of the supply depots that can be found in resource camps, towers, and keeps. Supplies generated from resource camps and brought to nearby towers and keeps via the supply caravans, which are these traveling doiliacs. Try to top off your own supply whenever you're at a supply depot. Siege weapons are environmental weapons used in World vs. World. Players can build 7 types of siege weapons, which require a corresponding blueprint and supply. Blueprints can be bought from a siege master and also can be attained in reward chests and certain NPC drops. I'll highlight a few of the common siege weapons to help you get started. The Flame Ram is a close-range siege weapon that is great for busting down keep or tower gates. Just click the blueprint in your inventory and set it down close to the gate. Then build the ram using your supply, and then get started busting that gate down. Catapults are great for breaking in keeps or towers from a distance as they do heavy damage to walls and moderate damage to gates. Arrow carts are great to use when you're defending one of your own keeps as they do lethal area damage to players. Also wanted to mention that towers and keeps can also be upgraded to have their own defensive siege weapons. These include burning oil, cannons, and mortars. These can really help you turn the tide of battle when attempting to defend your objective. Playstyles. There are 3 broad types of playstyles in World vs. World. These are called Zergs or Blobs, Havoc Squads, and Roamers. Zergs are the big squads running around the World vs. World maps. They typically consist of players playing different support roles in the group, and a well-formed Zerg group can many times be seen smashing through and capturing many of the larger objects on the maps. Havoc squads are smaller groups of players, typically 5 to 10, with a general focus on taking smaller objectives, increasing the team's access to supply while cutting off the supply to enemy keeps and towers, and basically causing havoc around the map by causing enemy forces to split off or redirecting them from their main objectives. Then there are the Roamers. These are players who are usually using builds that have a lot of mobility and are good at dueling. They pick off stragglers trying to make it to their main group, flip camps and small objectives, and provide scouting for the team. I find all 3 main playstyles to be extremely fun and rewarding, and I switch up what I'm playing typically from day to day. Recommendations for getting started. So here are my recommendations for getting started when you load into World vs. World. The easiest way to get your feet wet is just to find a commander on the map, join their squad, and follow the commander around. When the commander drops siege weapons, help build the weapons, and make sure to keep restocking your supply. When a fight breaks out, stay grouped up right tight on top of your commander. This is the best way to contribute and to stay alive, as all the heals and boons will be targeted on the commander. Following an experienced squad around will help you better understand the tactics and movements in World vs. World. If you can't find an open squad right away, or if you prefer to start off solo or with just a few friends, there's still plenty you can do to get started. You can head to the nearest resource camp not controlled by your team and try to capture it. Take out enemy supply caravans to help starve the enemies of supply. Or take out and flip sentries that are posted on supply routes. These will mark enemy players and attempt to kill enemy supply caravans that pass by. You can also help to defend your team's own objectives that are being attacked by enemy players. It basically doesn't matter what you're doing. As long as you're being active and participating, you're going to be gaining rewards. So go ahead, queue in, and jump right into the action. World v World is very rewarding, and I bet you have a blast on the battlegrounds. Okay guys, that is my beginner's guide to getting started in World vs. World. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, as I have a lot more Guild Wars 2 content coming your way. Also, if you'd like to see Divinity and I playing live, come over to our Twitch channel where we stream 4 nights a week. Also, don't miss my review of Guild Wars 2. You can click on it right here. Okay guys, I will see you in the next one, and I hopefully see you in the battleground.